Amen.
Amen. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, Mr. Njeru. Uh, we are going to read from page 56, and uh, we'll read three subtitles. They will be about 5 pages, and so then we move to our discussion. Uh, Dr. Eda, will you read for us the first subtitle? What's a
Yes,
brand? Yeah.
okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is a brand? Whenever I want to install an application in my phone or computer, I take time to go through the reviews in order to know what other people who have installed it say and to consider its rating. This is because I do not want to end up with a hoax, something which is not what it claims to be. The same thing happens with me whenever I receive friendship requests on Facebook. Unless I know the person who has sent the request, I take time to go through their timelines and find out what they are up to, what kind of people they are, and what they post. Any mutual friends we have, and whether they look genuine or fake. It's all about what brand they are or represent. What is your brand? It is not what you say you are, but what others being the public perceive you to be. They are the people who have related with you in one way or the other. In other words, it's your public image. That is your true branding. Perhaps you are one of the many who have been made to believe that a brand only has something to do with a business organization, a marketing campaign that is done to popularize a product or an organization, or a type of product associated with some company. You certainly know better what comes to your mind when you hear the word brand. If you are not in any business, it is likely that you have paid very little attention to it and hardly want to care what it means in your life, at least for the time being. This is perfectly fine depending on what your dreams are and what type of life you want to live. However, if you are like most people, fairly ambitious and have dreams to achieve, then you just have to be mindful about your personal branding. The branding you have will make it easier or harder for you to be influential. In this world of brands, there are genuine brands and fake brands. The fake ones imitate the genuine ones. Pirates all over the world try to come up with products that mimic the originals. The fake mob rob the originals some money, but over time the fake ones must be discovered as a fake and soon fizzle out while the original keeps on selling. When we were in the university, a friend went to buy a radio cassette. We went together to look for a more affordable option. Of course, we wanted a genuine and good quality radio cassette. We already knew about Sony as one of the best brands that time, and since we were unwilling to spend more money in the upmarket where we could find genuine brands, we chose to go to other parts of town where we could get generous discounts. We got one and sampled the items according to the amount my friend was willing to spend. It did not take a week after the purchase before we realized that the radio was a fake one. It never lasted. It always had problems with its power supply unit and sound system. When I ultimately decided to open it up and see what could be the issue, we were surprised to realize that even the fine tuning knob was just but an ornament. It did not connect to anything, and operating it was like trying to drain the sea into a basin. We learned our lesson. A fake cannot fake it for long. And you guessed it right. We could neither go back to such a shop nor recommend it to anyone. Many people do not seem to care about their personal branding. Just like the products in the market, it is possible to be a true brand or a fake. You are the product in this case, or your company, if you will, your orchestra. It is possible for your orchestra to be a brand just like another one in existence. The price tag for a fake may be less, but it costs a lot more. Relating with a fake orchestra will cost you a lot of frustration, reputation, money, and in extreme cases, even very own life, more so if you are the director. And that is because the performance of your orchestra carries your brand. Many marriage relationships break because they were purchased in the black market. They were products of fake brands. You either want to be a fake, you neither want to be a fake nor relate to one. You fake it, the leadership position, the orchestra will soon realize it and kick your ass out, bringing your career down, much to your dismay. What is your brand? And with that, I pass to someone else.
Thank you, thank you. Brenda, could you take us through the second subtitle?
What is in a name? Occasionally, when interacting with people for the first time, upon introduction, I may find the name interesting and ask what the name means. Invariably, I realize that not very many people know what their names mean. Few people take the trouble to find out the meaning of their names. What is in a name, you may ask? We shall soon find this out. Have you ever tried to imagine what power your name holds? Your name is your market label. It is your first line of branding. Kindly allow me to ask you today, what does your name mean to you and what does it mean to others? Do you think what it means to you is what it means to others? Do you think what it means, do you think that what it means to others is what you want it to mean? And I do not imply the literal meaning here. I mean, the type of image that comes to your mind and other people's minds the moment they hear your name, the feeling that your name generates. That is to say, what is associated with your name? Is it a genuine brand or a wishy-washy product? Is it an untested brand? Whose responsibility is it to build your name? In our village, we have a saying that it is by your name that you eat, which means that your name alone, if well taken care of, has the power to provide for your needs. It is what people associate with your personal name, your public image, and it is in your power to control what is associated with your name. Your headline, your face, your market label. In other words, you're able to influence what you can be known for and thus what can be associated with your name. Remember that fake things do not stand the test of time. So you cannot pretend to be what you are not, but you can unlearn bad habits and inculcate good ones. You can change in any area you choose. As has always been said, things change only when you change. Things get better only when you get better. That is when your branding, your market rating, that is when your branding, your market rating gets better.
Thank you. Patrick, are you ready to take us through the last section?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, nothing to chance.
Nothing to chance. It is important to consciously and deliberately take steps to define your true self, what you should be known for. This should be what you stand for. It should not be left to chance. What you choose to be, you are stand because what you are known for, and it is therefore becomes your brand. Whether you know it or not, there is a label which is trending about you. It could be good or bad. It could be true or false. It could be building you or damaging you. What matters is, does it reflect what you aspire to reflect? And is it consistent with your values and beliefs? The way people know you will determine whether they will want to relate with you or not, and whether they will believe anything you say or not, whether they can join your team or not. It determines the quality of people you will attract to your orchestra. In a way, God gives everyone a chance to define their own branding. You cannot cheat by displaying a brand which you do not stand for and still survive long enough. Truth finally gets known. If there is a task that only works in truth, it is the task of branding, be it in business or personal life. Just like it is impossible to hide a fool from displaying his folly, it is impossible to fake a brand and succeed long enough. You cannot lie about your brand because time will always reveal the truth. More so Christ time. More so crisis time. Crises have a way of bringing out the real you. I have seen it in businesses and in other quarters. Strong brands sell more. Weak brands never sell much. Strong brands attract high value in the marketplace. Weak brands attract, if at all, very low recognition and value. This determines, in the long run, how successful an organization or an individual can be, how successful the symphony orchestra would to be. That is what brand means. If you are a strong brand, it sets you ahead of the competition. It gives you a competitive advantage. Kindly note that this is not what you say you are. Rather, it is what you have been perceived to be and have proven in action. It is a promise fulfilled. In other words, it is you through other people's lenses. At times, as time goes on, strong brands generate more loyalists. While fake ones keep struggling. You even see this in politics every day. Remember, if you're not a brand, you have a lot of hurdles to overcome. You're just an ordinary commodity, and replacing you is easy. You are cheap. But if you're a brand, the story is a lot more different and positive. It takes time to build your brand, and you may struggle to prove yourself. But over time, it will be apparent, and you will reap the benefits. Your orchestra will thrive.
It takes 20.
It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently. Quote by Warren Buffett.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's our excerpt for today, our reading for today. So maybe we just go into the discussion. Dr. Eda, we can start with you. You started reading for us. You can tell us how you relate with that text.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's a really brilliant piece of writing, and I really appreciate that. And it's true that the personal brand is something we need to take more care with. I found that, for example, my family name, when I say my name to, when I say my surname to people who are older than the millennials, I immediately get a reaction from the older generation because I come from a family of freedom fighters. And so I've been trying to build up my own brand by not using that surname, because everybody associates me with the freedom fighter family, which is a very good name. Like the Bible says that it's better, a good name is more precious than jewels, diamonds, and everything else. but I want to carve out my own niche. So I tend to use my own personal name. And I remember somebody telling my father, my late father, that, you know, you're a brand. And it's true that when my father passed away, the church could not contain the number of people that came from all walks of life from his funeral. And when I used my surname, the one I was trying to avoid now, I said, are you related to so-and-so? Because I have famous uncles. And that has tended to open up doors for me. But what I want to build is my own personal brand. And the emotion that people get when I say my father's name is that he was kind, he was humble. And, you know, from the lowest, from the watchman to the CEOs of companies, he related to everybody very well. He would talk to waitresses, drivers, everybody, whoever was considered the downtrodden in the society, and the CEO, he would treat them exactly the same. So for me, that's a legacy I want to leave. I want to be able to be remembered as somebody who warms the heart but somebody who stands up for the truth also. And there's somebody I follow online very much. He's called Jordan Peterson. And he's a clinical psychologist who stands up for the truth. And a whole generation of men, whenever I read the comments, people just say, this is the father I never had. And even women, they say, this is the father I never had. So I will continue to follow him because he's a brand in himself, Jordan Peterson. And I also have other mentors who are alive. Some are alive, some are not there. Wagare Mathai is a brand, you know, things like that. So yeah, maybe I pass on to someone else.
Thank you very much. You've mentioned a very exciting thing, what we've just read. What feeling people generate when you just mention a name? And that happens whether it's a human being or a product. Somebody mentions LG, somebody mentions Mercedes Benz, whatever. There is always something that is associated with a name, a brand. Patrick, your contribution?
As for me, what I can say, building your brand, as we've had, takes quite long. People tend not to realize that because they think that either by imitating people trying to live a life that it is not theirs, they think that they are really trying to make or formulate their brand, but in the real sense, it takes your own initiative, your own values to build a strong brand. Without discovering that, you will end up either being a fake brand, like the example that you gave us. You purchased a radio and later on you realize that the radio was not real what it purported to be. So in our case, our brand, our deep underlying values will determine what type of brands we'll make. The brand that we are going to portray outside will determine what people will perceive us to be. Sometimes we tend to forget that building our own image and believing in ourselves is good for us. No matter how long it is going to take, one day now people will start relating. They hear your name, they know your values, and they know this person cannot be easily compromised because the underlying value and the name match. But if it portrays vice versa, they hear the name and say, this person, really? No, we do not want to be associated with this person. So as Warren Buffett said, it takes longer to build your brand, but to destroy it, it takes very, very short time. So let us maintain our brands. Let us maintain our values that form or are part of the orchestra so that the people who will want to associate with us or the people who want to be near us will know that me being part of this brand or me being near this brand, I know my value will also increase and they will most of the time want to be associated with you. That's my take.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, there is something there you mentioned to do with endorsing. A brand that is popular can endorse another unknown brand, and that starts riding on it, and that usually comes with the price. If a known brand endorses you, for example, uh, people who, like Dr. Eda is saying, somebody who knew the dad and is related with her can always endorse her. This is just like her dad was, whatever, and somewhat she'll thrive based on that brand. Another thing there is that it takes long and consistent work. It's not a wishy-washy thing that today you're here, tomorrow you're here. So you keep changing like a chameleon. Then that becomes your brand also. So it takes time, it takes consistency, but coming down, it takes just a short while. Just 1 minute, it will be ruined. And of course, we can see like, for example, the brand that Magufuli built. Yeah, he was I think he was one of the best known presidents for the short time he was there. And most of us do not know presidents of other countries. We can hardly remember who is the president of Burundi, who is the president of wherever, but at least we know, and I know the world knows the brand, the kind of uh, material that built Magufuli. Yes, Brenda, you can say something.
Yes, yes. I like the part of what feeling does your when your name is mentioned, what feeling does it elicit from people? I think that's the most important. That's that was the thing that struck me most. How would I want? What's the kind of feeling that I would like people? What kind of feeling would I would like them to know? I would like them, yeah. So I would like to them to see me as, someone honest. As in, I don't know, but yeah, what kind of feeling do I want? And I think for me, that is something that I need to take in. That's my takeout. I want to reflect on it so that I can start working on it, intentionally working on it. Because sometimes, many times, like for me, I'm not intentional. Maybe I'm doing it, but I'm not intentional about it. So right now, I want to actually reflect and say what feeling do I want people to elicit when my name is mentioned, and I start taking steps to intentionally work on, yeah, on working on my brand.
Thank you. Thank you. That is a very important aspect. Every one of us must take a step, a positive step, a deliberate decision. You make a deliberate decision to work on your brand. The question, first of all, is to start by getting to know what type of person do I want to be known as. What should people know me as, and that builds a lot into your business, into your whatever venture you want to pursue, into your leadership, and being intentional, strategically thinking about it, as Dr. Eda talked about it, legacy, which we will discuss at a later date. What legacy do you want to leave? What do you want people to think when they think about your name, when somebody mentions your name? Thank you very much. Mr. Njeru, would you like to contribute based on the text? Hello, are you there? You can unmute and say something about what we've read. As you,
Well, I'm keenly following what you're saying. Let me not make a comment at this stage, but I'm keen on what you are discussing. Keep on the good work.
thank you. Immaculate, we have probably two Immaculates. So I'm talking of the person who's put her name as Immaculate. Immaculate, any contribution on the text? Immaculate isn't listening, maybe. Now, the question is, have we been deliberate in building our brand, and what has it taken, or what does it take to build our own brand? Wamboi, I know you came in late. Could you tell us whether you've been deliberate in building your brand?
Hi, morning.
Morning.
You want me to comment now? I think I would have just
Yeah, but what do you understand by the word brand?
Okay, for me, I think it is the image that you portray as yourself, you portray to others. And if you're offering a good, it is that commodity that you're offering to people. Yes, and that question that you asked us, whether I am intentional.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm on a journey, and I can say I am. But definitely a brand involves a lot, because I think you just have to uniquely package yourself for you to stand out in whatever you are doing. Yeah, so personally, in the kind of things I do in my business, I try my best to be as professional as much as possible. I try to set, all the procedures and just do things in a different way, so that if you are picked, I'm in the agribusiness sector, such that if somebody was to think about that thing, they would think about me. I don't know whether my point is coming out clearly, but yes, I think I am somewhere. It's a journey and it's not easy, but I can say I am somewhere, trying to package myself differently, uniquely, to offer my services to people.
Thank you. Immaculate, are you now in a position to say something about what we read?
Sorry, good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
so sorry, I'm multitasking. But anyway, so what I understand is that it's good always to build your brand and protect it, because it takes long to build a brand. It's all about what other people see when they see you, or when they hear your name being mentioned, or anything associated with you being mentioned. So a brand has value, and so every other time we should always persevere towards really protecting our brand, because the moment our brand is destroyed, it might take really now longer even to now rebuild it and come back to where you are.
Great. It takes longer. It takes longer if we bring it down. It takes longer to prove ourselves. And so we've got to build it, we've got to guard it. And by the way, it's good to note that we said you cannot fake it for long. You might try to be somebody else. You might try to pretend that you are a particular brand, which you are not. And by the end of the day, it will come out. And it was mentioned in the text that even marriages that are based on fake brands, we fake it into our relationships. By the end of the day, we realize that this is not the brand I bargained for. This is a fake. I was looking for this. Why? Because we package ourselves differently and do a lot of business presentation when we are looking for this partner, and thereafter they realize that we claimed to be what we are not. Murugi, in this case, would you like to say something? I know we've been talking about brands for some time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. What I can say is I joined in a little bit late, but what I can say is I think it's very important to work on your own brand as yourself. And then when you're doing biashara pia as well, you should also, at the back of your mind, you should just know, like, how do you want people to view you? How do you want people to, know you? Yeah. So, and if you can get help, I mean, to know yourself, to, ask people, what do you think about me? What do you think about what I do? What do you think about this? That will also help you, like, flourish to the next level. So I think that's what I can say. And I really thank you, Paul, because you've been with me on my journey, and I'm really proud of what you do as well. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are a brand. Yes.
Hello, may I say something?
Yes, Dr. Ida.
And I think it's much deeper than what I want the people to think about me. I
Yeah,
think the most important thing is that I should be authentic,
true.
and it should come from within.
Yeah,
So if I stand for the truth in whatever I say and do, it should also be there in my personal life. If I'm telling a client or a patient that they should eat healthily, and they should also think positively, I think I also need to be doing the same thing, living a healthy, clean life, living a morally clean life, so that from whichever angle, if anybody tries to trap me or to try and spoil my name, then it will just bounce back at them. Of course, that's what people do, which is very, very bad. I think gossip is one of the biggest sins. Even Christians do it. But destruction of a person's character is a very big sin. So I need to be authentic about my brand, in that what I say and do in private is exactly what I say and do in public. And I also, I was watching Miles Monroe the other day, and he talked about how we are so unique. Each of us, there's never been anybody like me. There's no one like me, and there'll never be anybody like me. So why am I wasting my time trying to be like somebody else? You see, when you're growing up and you're still in that identity crisis stage, you can cry and say, why can't I look like Whitney Houston? These beautiful women. And no, you were made uniquely with a purpose in mind, and God, the manufacturer, has that purpose in mind, which is your unique blueprint, and he wants you to be the best version of yourself, so that your talent can be of service to humanity. And you cannot be a singer. I cannot sing to save my life. So why should I try to sing like Whitney Houston or to look like Whitney Houston, which I'll never do? So she gave her music to us in service. That was her service to humanity. I can listen to Whitney Houston and feel good, because this is how she gave her service to humanity with her talent. So yeah, it's about being unique from the inside out.
thank you. Thank you. Let me just revise something here. It's written, in this world of brands, there are genuine brands and fake brands. The fake ones imitate the genuine ones. Pirates all over the world try to come up with products that mimic the originals. The fake rob the originals some money, but over time the fake must be discovered as a fake and soon fizzle out without the while the original keeps on selling. So this is the idea. Authenticity is what makes us genuine. It's what makes us original. I remember when I was in secondary school in Form 4, in another school, I could see people trying to behave well when the teacher is there and behave just the opposite when the teachers are not there. And even on normal things, like there is a music put, but somebody loves music and loves dancing, they do not want to dance when the teachers are there. The moment teachers get out, that's when they dance. I've seen these even in Nairobi. You see it often when people approach a roundabout and there is a police officer they will take extra caution. They even wait until the lights are green, but they just want to be seen to be people who are good at the roundabout, while all the times they move without any caution. You see, this pretentious attitude, you cannot say that you are only good when people are saying, when people are seeing you. When we are building a culture, we are building a brand, we are building something that we are known for, it should be every time, it should be what we really believe. We are not doing it just for a show, but it's something we believe that comes from deep within. It should be genuine. That's what makes it authentic. And as you said, Dr. Eda, we are all uniquely gifted. I always feel really sad when I see people trying to copy other people. You're trying to be an ape of the other. And that the best you can be is just but that ape of another person, because you cannot be like that person. You they can be their own and you can be your own. And building your own uniqueness, building something that you're known for, it becomes a big thing. You cannot try to be somebody else and succeed in being somebody else, because there is already that person. That person already exists, who is the genuine of that. So you might try to ape, and this perhaps sometimes happens a lot with even our ladies, trying to be white, trying to make themselves look like somebody else. Yeah, it becomes a big deal, and this is where pressure comes in, or peer pressure, peer influence. We try to imitate. This is one reason I don't like fashions, going with fashions, because fashion is always for a short time. It doesn't have a lot of taste, a lot of value, because after a short while, it no longer stands. You want to be somebody who is the same today, and if somebody met you tomorrow, you'll either be the same or you've improved to be a much better person. But not that this side you are this person and this side you are different. You will be somebody who cannot be relied upon. Nobody will be able to say whether you are genuine or fake, and most times if you keep changing, you are fake. And that's why you've also had in the political space that some people become watermelon. Now, if you check the politics, you realize that some of the most people will coalesce around certain individuals. Where they go, that is where everyone else goes, because they are political leaders. They've built a brand, and that brand is what makes other people to eat, is what makes other people to succeed in politics, because they are relating with a certain brand. And I see these in politicians who must look for the endorsement of the party leader, as to go to their region and carry their hands up to be seen that they've endorsed them. Otherwise, they can't make it anywhere. And so, brand is something that each and every one of us must take seriously and must work deliberately into. What is it that I'd like people to know about me? And whenever we are in leadership position, we are more conspicuous. It's like we are a lamp that is put on top of a lampstand, on top of a stool, and everyone is able to see. And that will reflect into what people perceive us to be. That's why every leader, every decision that a leader makes, because it impacts on the others, it makes people have a perception about him or her. It's very critical. And now we have about 6 minutes to close. So I'd like to take final comments, somebody with something that they would like to add as we close this first part of discussion on the brand.
Yes, the other day I saw a title of a video clip that I actually bookmarked it, that I want to watch it, by PLO Lumumba, who is a brand in himself also. And it was entitled The Magulification of Africa. So your name can actually become a word when it's associated with a certain leadership style. And what I understand by the Magulification before I even watch the video is that we should not be so blinded by the Western world and following their culture blindly. Like I'm told that the roads in Tanzania are very smooth. I'm told that women do not wear mutumba. They actually wear what is made locally. And he was a real patriot. And if every African president could be as patriotic as that, trying to build their, maybe he had his own authoritarian style, which rubbed many people the wrong way. But it came from his love of his country. And many African presidents are just sellouts to the Western world. They really don't care about us. The way Magufuli was adamant about not inviting these people, the Chinese, in so that they can become slaves, and he really had a vision for his country. And your name can become used as an English word, the Magulification of Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Uh, in fact, most of us know that for our leaders, they are more of clowns for the West. They will just last night we were having a discussion with my friends and family across the globe, and we were discussing that, for example, the measures being taken in Africa and specifically Kenya to contain the virus are imported. They are not working for us because our people are just picking solutions somewhere and putting them. We need to think about our own solutions for our own problems. And that can only happen if we stay authentic to who and what Africa and Africans should be. And we know that if you mention certain names, they became brands. You mentioned Nelson Mandela. There's something he's known for, and people still uh, give him some respect even in absentia. And that's why we are talking about timeless leadership in this book. You become a timeless leader. The biggest brand that was ever built is the brand of Christianity, the brand of Christ himself. Built a strong brand with authenticity that rubbed people the wrong way, rubbed the establishment, the system the wrong way. And just like every other person who rubs people the wrong way, he had to be eliminated. But you will eliminate them, but you don't eliminate their brand. And as we said some other time, that even Osama bin Laden became a brand. And at one point, he told the US, Osama is not afraid. I am not afraid. If one Osama dies, 1,000 Osama will be born. Why? Because the spirit lives on. And that is the same thing that will happen even in Tanzania. That same spirit that Magufuli started, it will always continue. Some other people are inspired and will always want to pick it up and move on. It doesn't matter what politics take place. And so let each and every one of us stay authentic to our brands and deliberately work on what type of persons we want to be. It was also written in the same text that things get better when we get better. Things get to change when we change. And so when we build our brands and become better in the marketplace, our values go up. And that's why when you go to buy a genuine product, it costs much higher than what a fake product or whatever tries to imitate it is. If somebody tries to imitate some personality who has built his or her own brand, you can only be an ape of that. And so even if you are contracted, you'll be contracted as at a fake price, not a genuine price. The price for a genuine one will go to the genuine one. The price for a fake will always go for the fake. And so we've got to also remember that, as we've said, your name somewhat becomes your price tag. And it's good to know, I know we are now going to discuss this next week, that it starts with building your name. It starts with even with the name that you choose to use. You know, you can be using different names different times until people do not know whether this is the same person. So you choose which name you want to use, which is your tag, which is your market label, and then you build on that the type of brand that you'd like to be associated with it. And that's what actors put as stage name, and that becomes much better known. If we remember Mama Kayai, Mama Kayai has a real name, but then the brand that she built is Mama Kayai. And we've seen this, Papa Shirandula, we've seen this with different other people using some names that they choose to be in their market label, and they build on them. I loved the local productions, like these ones for Kina Mogaka, and even these ones for Taidi High. Those people are not what they portray to be, but they are choosing to build a certain brand that they get this is the end. We've squeezed some extra 2 minutes, but next week, let's always log in early so that we read the whole text together. It starts at 7:30. Oh, next week is Easter Monday. It might be prudent to skip it. Then we meet the other Monday. People can always have a rest.
May I say
Let's,
something?
yes.
And there's one thing that you said, that Christianity was the biggest brand.
Yeah.
The Bible says that we are ambassadors of Christ.
Yes.
And so I heard something the other day that really struck home. It said that be careful about how you behave, the things you say and do, because you might be the only Bible that somebody has ever read.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, we're good people. Monday being Easter Monday holiday, we will give it a rest. People can always rest, and then we pick it up the other Monday to move on into the second phase of improving your brand, and then improving your business brand. That's the way it will move. Let me just share with you where we were. So today we read up to here. We are going to start on this page 62, improving your brand. And then we will go to all the way to your orchestra brand, the brand of your orchestra. So thank you very much. We may we may need to say final prayer, and I can pray mentioning